Yeah. What it do? Snackers, snackers, snack X's. It's your boy Gage. Sin is in the building.
Yes, sir.
Jokes is in the building.
Yo, yo.
And all the lovely people watching are in the building. Those who are watching are now officially tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today,
Today.
we got a lot to cover. We got to talk about Baltimore Comic Con. We're going to talk about the fight scene from Red Notice that they uploaded. We're going to talk about Ghost Rider turning 50. We're going to talk about Halo and them having a couple of trailers. Actually, technically, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, the new game. Actually, reviewing
Doctor Who.
Well, Doctor Who, what up? Yeah. So we're gonna talk about GTA Trilogy and what they're doing with that and how they're breaking that up. We're gonna talk about this Switch online expansion pack mess. Yeah, we got we have some things to talk about.
Some problems there.
And I think it's gonna be a good show. So first and foremost, let me turn that off because that'll happen for the rest of the night. Yeah, I have a lineup for Extra Life. I won't share it until probably Friday. Because there's a couple things I need to I got to double check and make sure of. What I will tell you, Cuddy, is that if you intend to run with us, we'll put some things in. Matter of fact, I saw Division 2 did an update today and did a thing about all this new stuff that they got coming. We might have to look at that, for sure. That was the thing I wasn't really thinking about. But then I saw the tweet today, and I was like,
might have to revisit it.
I will also say, Cuddy, that if you are intending to get in, and run Forza 5 with us, you will need to download the premium pack.
Upgrade or whatever,
so that you will be able to have access to it. Because the game technically doesn't drop until the 9th, but if you do the premium access pack, then you'll get access to it on the 5th. And my recommendation would be that at some point on the 5th, you at least go in and play to the point where you can jump into co-op, so that doesn't end up being an issue if you want to run with us. But again, we'll get all that worked out, for sure. Now, I have a plan for how we're going to run the show, but I have no idea how it's going to turn out.
We know how that can go.
I want to talk about Baltimore Comic Con because things were a little different this year. And
yes, they were.
While I enjoyed myself and we had a good time, as we usually do, again, things were different. I know a lot of people who usually do go, didn't go, or couldn't go, or wouldn't go, or something along those lines. So I want to start. I just want to go around the horn, gentlemen, and kind of get you guys' overall feelings about the convention as a whole. I'm gonna start with you, Sin.
Yes, they did have a few mishaps, throughout the weekend, from the extremely long lines to get in and maybe a lack of communication, whether certain people could get in or like that. It was set up a little bit differently this year, little tricky to get used to when you first, get there. But overall, I thought it was good. Had a great time there. Saw a lot of cool things. Saw a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time. So overall, yeah, it was a good con. It was good.
Jokes?
Save wavelength. Had a good time. We had to get a little used to the layout was a little bit different than what typical Baltimore has been in the last few years that we've been. But that's a small minor thing that we typically do every single year when we go someplace new. So not a big deal on that side. Definitely was amped to see a lot of faces that we hadn't seen in a very long time, especially if they only go to Baltimore. So we hadn't seen them in like 2 years. Other than that, meeting a whole bunch of new people, getting to see, some fresh new comics, some fresh new things that we hadn't seen in the past just yet. But overall, a solid adventure at Baltimore Comic Con.
Yeah, look, I mean, I had a good time. I enjoyed myself. For us, Comic Cons are work.
Work in a sense, but it's things that
Yeah,
it's work that we love. It's work that we love.
It is.
So
It is. But like people who go to a con strictly to enjoy it, they will wear themselves out and be tired when they leave the convention.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even come close to doing they don't even come close to doing what we do. Because we bounce, we just move around a lot. What I will say is that we got to see and speak with a lot of new people, and we got to reconvene with some good old folks. So what I want to do is recap some of the fresh faces. This is Jesse from Squirrel and Grub. I'm going to tell y'all right now that Jesse, they do some laser cutting and made some pretty awesome stuff. But they had PlayStation earrings and then they had no Xbox stuff. We move on. Which I will tell y'all now, I did let her know. Like, not just while I was at the table, but I said it's in the interview, bro. You can go and watch the joint live. I let her have it a couple of times.
Good man.
We didn't get the eye roll. We didn't get the eye roll on camera.
We a PlayStation house around here. I don't really care, Slim. You better jump on this green and black, man. It'll look real good. This right here, Sim, walk us through this little image right here we looking at.
We caught up with some old folks of ours that we haven't seen in a very, very, very long time. I actually picked up the issue of Wildcats Comics when we interviewed them back in the day. It's actually sitting back there in the box right now. But it was great catching up with them, I would say, since it's been so long. One of the folks we talked about that we just love to see and hang out with when we go there. It was just great catching up, honestly.
Yeah, these are the good folks from the Burning Spear comics, John, Moana, good folks. We see them at almost every con we go to. We haven't talked to them in a number of years. They're always there. And these are folks that actually, like John goes back. John went to high school with us moons ago. Including you, Jokes. Even you went to high school moons ago. So I joined is like many moons ago. I joined many moons
ago. Like when the moon first showed up. Was that what we were trying to say here?
Hey, Jokes, listen.
Jokes got jokes. Hey,
I gotta do it. So then
see, it don't have the same effect when I'm not actually on screen and you can't see it.
Not about
you still come back.
It's not about seeing you, it was about hearing you in that particular instance. Yeah, we go back. These were the good folks at AWA, Artists, Writers, and Artisans, which is a new comic book publisher. Jackie and Will and Lisa, and I'm gonna tell you what, Slim right here in the gray shirt, I did not catch his name, and I feel terrible about it. And I could probably zoom in on the picture.
About to say,
like
right.
A quarter of what it says on Slim's, but it's okay. I got 3 out of 4. That's pretty solid.
That's pretty solid.
You know what I mean? Actually, 4 out of 5 because I know my name too. So but nah, the folks at AWA were really, really dope. They not only were gracious in giving us the interview, but they also gave us a bunch of the books to check out and to read. So I'm gonna make sure I check out a bunch of those joints. Girl Fight, by good old Mr. Cho, and so we're gonna, they were really dope. And that really came We were gonna talk to them anyway. We had already decided we needed to stop by there and check them out.
Right.
But after seeing our good friend Rob here at Comic Logic at the Comic Logic booth, he was like, "You gotta
Y'all
go over there
have
and
to.
talk to them. You
Yeah.
need to go talk to Lisa Wu." So we did. And I just thought that was pretty cool. Jokes, man. Run us through. Talk to us about that right there.
So when we was doing, so we did a few. So naturally, the way we run, we go past tables many of times, and we passed by this table a good couple of times, and I finally had to stop and talk to him. They do a comic called Delta Dogs, and I tell you, when we meet a lot of these artists that are like doing their comics, like they are brand new to the game, just getting started now. They're on issue 19 of their comic, which was absolutely insane.
It is
I
because they haven't
love
been at it that long.
they haven't been at it that long, and that's the crazy part. But I love what they brought to the table. You know, their whole story, they pretty much use actual family members, actual cousins and things in the story. And a lot of the actual story of the comic are actually rooted in real life scenarios, which I really like that they've experienced themselves. And then they just brought it to this level in the comic. I thought, you know, everyone having like different powers, different abilities and all of this. It's definitely something different that you typically don't see. And a matter of fact, I actually have, fortunate enough, they actually gave us some dog tags. This is actually one of the Delta Dogs dog
Let me
tags
let
that
you
they
be
actually gave
seen,
to
bro.
us.
Let me let you
Let's
be
see.
seen. You know what I mean? You all showing off. Let me, my man
pop up.
wearing his jewelry he got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me just
So
make sure my man can be
little
seen.
something cool. And they're in the area, so they're from Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, to be specific. It's actually printed right on the dog tag. But definitely solid storyline what they have going on. That is going to be a comic that we probably see hitting the issue 50s and keep going on, because the story that they're putting behind is absolutely amazing. So definitely check out Delta Dogs if you guys get a free opportunity.
I would agree with that. Sam, run us through, bro.
Hey,
Let's talk
Shield
about the
Masters.
dopest business cards I've
Business
I was
ever
about
cards?
to
seen in
say
my
that.
life.
Yes.
Let me get
Oh
this
my
card,
gosh.
Hold on,
Dog.
man.
These
I
dudes
was like,
Shield Masters.
I don't got mine.
Mine's in the bag still, but no,
Mine's
these dudes
right here.
Shield Masters are pretty dope. Like they make like these lifelike shields. Like they cost the circle one that I'm holding, that Captain America one, is like 500, and you see the background, that Wolverine one and the Superman one under it, those run like 550. But these things got some weight on them. They said, yeah, you can hang them up as a nice little piece. They customize it for you, put whatever you want on them. You could really use them as a real shield if you wanted to. Like they have the weight and the feel of it for sure, but they feel really good. Like holding them, like they are really, really well made. Like they are absolutely amazing. And yes, those cards were phenomenal that they passed out to us at the
I'm
end.
about to make it known.
Oh yeah, but no, these are dope. If you're looking to get a shield, I definitely recommend hollering at them for real.
Be careful, because if you chuck these shields at someone,
they dying.
They get put down.
They dying.
These were their business cards, bro. And I want y'all to understand something. That these joints, listen, let me tell you something. These joints are straight up metal. Like they are solid metal business cards. Hey, Sin, you got the other business card? I bet you don't.
Oh, it's in the bag.
You picked that little collector joint.
It's in the bag. I go grab it.
I'll go grab it.
I'm gonna let you have that one. And while you doing that, yeah. Dr. Who said y'all can keep those many moons. What up, Noah? Ty. What time did you get in here, Ty?
Oh, he came late.
I made it. Did. I just, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be any different. I knew Slim was gonna be late. I just didn't know how late. You know what I mean? My man was gonna be. Yeah. So while Sin is grabbing that, so we can show that off. Really excited to be able to actually see, for the first time in quite some time, Sam Kidlet, This is J. Robert Dean's daughter, who y'all have heard. Him talk about her. She pops in from time to time in the chat. Had a table there, showing off the artwork, all that. Ty said 8:40. I
That's
would
that
say we should
constant.
start the show at 8:45, but then he ain't gonna show up till 9:15. So
Right.
you know what I mean? Trying to look out, you know what I'm saying, for one of our biggest patrons, you know what I'm saying? My man's top tier. So I'm trying to look out. You know.
Yeah, I got Shield Master's other business card that they had for us.
All right, so let's hook you up then. Let's get you right quick.
Which was these.
Oh man, you're lighting.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that's not a breath mint.
Shield your master.
No, it is not.
Can't nobody see that, man.
Nah, you gotta come on, man. You know you gotta put your hand behind you know, man. Come on.
You got that extra light on it.
You a professional,
That's
man.
right.
Come on, just come on. You're a professional.
Woo! That ain't working.
Nope.
No, it ain't.
You got it. You gotta just hold it, dude. Put your palm behind it.
Man, is there a little bit? You know
Yeah.
what?
I don't know what it is.
I
know exactly what it is.
Yeah, they know what's
Protect
popping,
your
bro.
shit.
So yeah, so I mean, overall, the convention was cool. I will say again, like things was real different. They weren't on the regular side of the convention hall that they normally on. They were on the old side where it used to be, like many moons ago. It was laid out really. Yeah, that's what you tuned in for. It was definitely a different and weird layout. It was certainly more confusing than I would say I've ever seen it. And you know, in trying to make sure, you know, that everybody was safe and so forth, you know, coming in. What up, Sam?
Hey.
Y'all just showed up. Y'all just missed
it. Yeah, y'all missed our sound and everything.
Y'all just missed it. You know, they you know, there were really long lines outside. They were, you know, checking temperatures on everybody who came in the door. And I'll tell you, like, we stood in line. We didn't stand in line Sunday. We did stand in line a second time on Saturday coming in because they told us that even yeah, Sam, even if, by the way, Sam, your interview just went live. It's up on everything right now.
It's out there.
So, you know, they told us, even though when they told us like, if you had to show that you were vaccinated. If you weren't vaccinated, you could get in a separate line or buy a ticket to go get a test done. They were doing vaccinations there. There was a lot going on. And there was somebody else who was doing like vaccinations. Hey,
anniversary to follow.
Oh, thank you, Sam. Dave Roberts says he's going to put up an article on his blog tomorrow about the experiences from their perspective. I think that'll be important.
Cool.
We heard a lot of different things from a lot of different people that we talked to, and we talked to a lot of people. From just patrons, people who were there to see it, to you know, how it affected different artists, different vendors, what their traffic was like. I will tell you that Saturday being a day that is typically the busiest day for most people, you know, I know personally people who were in line for an hour and a half to 2 hours to get in, and I'm talking about middle of the day. To get in. You know, our good friend Harry, who was on the show with us last week to talk about his panel, and the big photo shoot that he does, an annual photo shoot that he does, which is technically an official part of the convention now, which is supposed to be at 12:30. The lines were so long and were taking so long that they had to move his panel to like 4, and they had to move the photo shoot to like 5:30 in the evening because people were still in line waiting to get in. And there just unfortunately wasn't a lot of good communication about, again, people like us who already had wristbands. Technically, we're supposed to be able to come in through an exit or walk to the front of the line, show our wristband, and just walk in and have them do a scan for us. But they told us we had to get back in line again. Matter of fact, they told Sam when he went to the front, they were like, "Nah, you got to go get back in line." Only
the bands everything, like, even though,
y'all cleared me.
Like I thought it was good.
Find out later that That's not how it was supposed to be. And eventually, I guess they did correct it. But, from volunteers who were actually working the convention, like, no, that's not what was supposed to be happening. So there definitely was a lack of communication. Things weren't, getting put out the way that they should have. And it definitely caused some issues and some people to probably not have as good a time as they would have normally had under non-COVID circumstances.
Right.
Barring how long people waited and even us having to wait in line, which again for us didn't take that long. But barring those things, I do have to give some level of kudos to them for doing the best they could to try to make sure people are safe in this era and not have somebody turn around and sue them or whatever because they got sick or got COVID or whatever while they were there or whatever. Enforcement over face masks and not having gaiters, neck gaiters versus, just getting people in and out of the doors and, where you could go again. Things were just very different. I suppose if it was your first time there, you wouldn't really know the difference. So there was that.
True.
But overall, we had a really good time. We spoke with a lot of people. We've been posting a lot of interviews and so forth. There's a lot more that still has to go up. I'd say we're maybe just under halfway done with getting things posted.
I think we hit a milestone this around with the amount of interviews we damn near hit 30. I think we are 30 because I think I'm missing maybe one or two on my list from when I was keeping track. But yeah, we definitely was some miles walked.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, like we really didn't even do as much. Like we took it pretty easy on Sunday. Like we went in and did some work, but we took it pretty easy on Sunday by comparison because we just knew with the Ravens playing, it was going to be tricky trying to get out of there. So it was kind of like, let's get in, let's do a little shopping, let's knock a couple things out, and then let's get out. Saturday, we hit the ground running. Friday, we only did like 2, but we set up a lot of interviews for Saturday. So it was just,
I took Friday to connect with people, you know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't be tired of doing that on Saturday.
Catch up with people
and all that stuff. Yeah. Which felt really cool. Which felt really good.
Which we still did do some. Because there are people who I know were there that we just didn't ever make it back to go see.
Do it.
Yep.
That's just how busy it is. But yeah, overall it was a good time. I would actually say that if you normally go and you didn't get to go, you did miss out. That's what I'd say. J. Robert Dean said the staff of the show was about half down. The convention center pulled some weird stuff on the show, so it was amazing. The show was able to do as much as they could. I mean, again, I know a few of the things that were happening, behind the scenes and so forth. It was a little tricky. I'm gonna tell you what. That pizza, that Papa John's pizza they were selling wasn't Papa John's pizza.
Papa John's pizza. Yeah. Getting food now and stuff for some of these cons now would be suspect.
That joint was Baltimore Convention Center pizza in a Papa John's box.
They just said, "Hey, y'all, can we use y'all boxes?"
Look at all these boxes left over.
Listen, with the tomato paste cans proudly on display. That ain't Papa John's sauce.
No, they ain't the sauce. Come on,
man. Papa John's pizza not dusty. That joint had like Lido's dust on it. You know how Lido's got that sawdust on their joint?
Yeah, sawdust. That is exactly what it is.
Straight up sawdust. But apparently the Dippin' Dots were really good. So there's that.
Apparently.
Hey, check this out, man. Ghost Rider is turning 50 next year.
Kudos to Ghost Rider.
Facts, because I'm gonna tell you something. Ghost Rider tends to not be on my radar.
Agreed.
At all. Don't say that, J. Robert Dean. Don't.
I agree with him.
That's why I didn't even buy normally pizza.
They could have gave him a 1-year Passover because everything was shut down last year. What do you mean?
Right, yeah.
Nah, they lost all the ingredients. They just had the boxes left over. Like, hey, look, just somebody run to the grocery store and get a bunch of frozen pizzas.
Them boxes said better ingredients, better pizza. It was all a lie, dog.
wasn't Papa John. That wasn't Papa John. That was like Papa Bob. I don't know. Somebody out there flaking.
We saw Violet. We saw Violet multiple times for sure.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I tagged Violet in a post from Amy Reeder, who drew Devil Dinosaur, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. She took a picture with her because she was dressed as Moon Girl. Then she came back to visit her in her Ghost Rider, and she had posted it. And it was live yesterday because Ghost Rider was it was trending.
Yeah.
Because Ghost Rider's turning 50. And I was like, oh, it must be Ghost Rider's 50th birthday. No, it's not till next year. But apparently Marvel made an announcement that they are going to be doing a year-long run of things that are specific to Ghost Rider. So realistically, the only reason is the loading snacks all black for everyone else. Loading snacks what, bro?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're seeing. Where are you seeing it? Where are you looking at that? Where did you find that? Come here. Come here right now.
Uh-oh.
Come here.
Uh-oh.
Ever. Sit down. Sit down.
Oh,
show them.
Hey.
That one.
Do you see this? Hold on. Hold on.
Like you swelling.
All he's saying is that it wasn't Papa John's. That's it. It just wasn't Papa John's pizza.
It wasn't Papa John's.
It did. It was dusty.
Your pizza was dusty.
Get out.
She said you had dusty pizza.
I will.
Oh, that was
anyway, y'all. Domingo said I liked it. That's because yours was free because she bought it and you just ate it, bro. That's why you liked it, Domingo. Your joint was free. You didn't pay $11 for personal pan pizza.
That wasn't even Papa John's.
That's exactly right. Hazy Bazzy. J. Robert D said hi. Because I'm hungry. Of course. And that's the other thing. You was hungry. So of course it was good. It wasn't like I didn't say it was bad. I just said it wasn't Papa John's. They lied.
Yeah, that's it. You can tell when Papa John just by looking at it like that.
That ain't Papa John.
That ain't right.
Let me tell you what.
Papa John
the most like important thing about Papa John's pizza is their crust, and that crust was not Papa John's.
Like, hey, yo, Shaq, come get them. They out here putting bad rap on Papa John.
Yeah, Papa
They
Shaq.
snitching on
them. Hey, so look, I need the rundown. Sin, are we getting Ghost Rider in the MCU?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah. Hold on
think
to that.
So.
Hold on to that. Jokes?
I mean, technically, don't we have them? Or you're like because of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or are we just not? We're not counting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't count.
All right,
as much as you would like it to, it doesn't count, bro.
No,
Kevin Feige has that joint is an old stepchild from an old marriage, bro. Like that dude is like not.
So in that case, I'm still gonna say yes. I think in this realm of what's going on right now, I think this would be a good little fit for Ghost Rider to show up. I think
how and where? How and where? Are we getting a Disney Plus show? Does he cameo in some movie because we're going to hell and to other realms and whatever? Like cameo. How and where?
Cameo, I think would be
in a movie.
Yeah, I don't think he get. I don't think we're gonna do. I don't think we do like the origin story type of thing. I think we'll get that origin a little bit in somebody else's movie. Like say, obviously, Multiverse of Madness. I think that's honestly for this phase right now. That is the catalyst. Like all these mythical and ancient, like all this stuff. I feel like it just intertwines there. And Doctor Strange has probably already been to hell at least once or twice, probably, and just had some conversations. Hey, yo, devil, I'm here to bargain. I don't know.
Heather said, aren't all things part of the MCU multiverse now? I'm going to say no. Because, I mean, could they make them? Yes.
Absolutely.
technically, no. Here's the thing. Right now, the worst thing about the MCU is how they treated Coulson.
Absolutely.
That is the worst thing about the MCU. And the only reason why I might even say technically, yes, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. falls into it would have been because they brought him back in Captain Marvel. However, we went through the Darkhold. We went to like all of that stuff. And now we've reintroduced the Darkhold again for the first time, right? In WandaVision.
Right.
So like things that they did / were doing, like they did Deathlock, they did Ghost Rider, you know what I mean? Like all of that stuff that they did, like they Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. went off the radar. Like they just went like you know what we gonna do? Whatever we want.
Yeah.
So I really feel like yes, they could say technically, yep, that's a thing that happened. I think the issue is that it's a thing that happened before Loki, which I guess Loki takes place after the Battle of New York.
Right.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. takes place after the Battle of New York. So I suppose, in theory, you could say that that's that same world, but it's not because the cube was gone once Loki took it. Like I don't like, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
How it was
There's a
split
way to
apart
do
or
it, I
break
guess, if
apart
they
to make
really
that
want to.
timeline. Yeah, that's interesting.
Shout out to Violet for winning the kids costume contest. Well deserved because incredible. I also made sure to tag. She didn't have Violet tag. She didn't know Violet's name in Amy Reeder's post on Twitter, so I made sure to tag her in it.
Okay.
And thanked me for it, which was cool. Yeah, look, I here's the thing. Ghost Rider, I don't really care about and never really have. But I do believe there's a higher potential for Ghost Rider than there ever was for Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man.
I can agree.
And therefore, if they do it and they do it right, and they could, because I'm going to tell you what, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did that joint right.
Ronnie Reyes, Ghost Rider was...
Robbie Reyes' joint was clean.
I don't mean to pun here, but he was fire. Like, I don't mean that for that, but he was fire.
My finger just hovering on that kick you out button, bro.
Hey, jokes. You gotta work on those jokes.
Hovering. Oh, hovering on your joint too, sis. Y'all just borrowed from the J. Robert Dean School of Jokes tonight, huh?
Man, Gay said, fine, I'll kick y'all out and do the show my damn self.
Man, I could. See? Always embrace a pun, man. See? There it is, Zayna. There it is. Get him out of here.
Slapping me.
Sin?
Yo.
You and I have professed on this show many times how important a fight scene is in a movie, correct?
100%.
So, if a trailer is basically released just to showcase a fight, joint should be fire, correct?
That makes sense.
Let's put it to the test.
Okay.
Looking for something specific or just browsing?
You look awful.
You know, there was an easier way in, but I doubt very much that you could have managed it. Now that I have 2 out of the 3 eggs, I'll give you one last chance to take me up on my offer.
Well, here's my counteroffer. You're under arrest.
Oh my God. Read the room.
I told you, this would end with you in handcuffs.
You're so embarrassing. He's so embarrassing.
Tell you what, Agent Hartley. You want to arrest me? Come. Arrest me.
I just want the acting really sometimes.
Take it easy.
This is easy.
Oh, bro, I didn't see the handcuffs coming. It was a nice touch. God, this is such a confusing erection.
You can't ever tell anybody about this.
Never tell anybody, I promise.
Hey, that joint's funny, bro.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
All right, listen. Sin.
Yes,
Scale of 1 to
sir.
10. Scale of 1 to 10. Let's talk about that fight. 1 to 10.
A 5.
Hey, Joe. Scale of 1 to 10.
I'm right where he's at. You know what? Because of the funny moments, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Nah. You don't count.
No, funny moments not included. Nah.
All right, we'll give
Nah,
it a
because
5.
you know what? No, I would include the funny moments because Jackie Chan joints have funny moments. They
Okay.
almost better than these. I will watch this movie.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I'm definitely not watching that joint for the fights though. That joint was not.
Nope.
That was
Not the movie.
never even on my radar going into this movie.
man.
Like, okay, you got some cool action scenes, but like fully choreographed fights, I didn't see that going into this. So
Nah.
yeah, I don't know if that's their wheelhouse, but okay.
I didn't like it, and I don't want to talk no more about it. But what we can do is talk about this. Did either of y'all watch Dune yet?
I've not had a chance to watch it yet.
Okay. You did, Sin.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
Overall, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 issues with it. One of them I don't have an issue with anymore, and that was the ending. I didn't like the ending. But now I'm cool with the ending. Because the way it ended, it felt like it was supposed to be another part to the movie, and they announced today that they're actually doing part 2 for next year. So I'm like, okay, fine. I didn't know that going into
I was gonna post that, so that's cool. But I'm just saying, like, that doesn't make the ending not bad though.
The way it just leaves off at the end, I didn't like that. Without if it was just going to be just that by itself, I didn't like that at all.
Watch anime. I was like, it sounds like you watch enough anime.
Yeah, but I'm not watching anime.
Yeah. Also, that dude doesn't watch anime. That dude binges anime. It's not the same thing because he don't ever wait. It's not the
No,
same
it's the same thing. It's the
No,
same
it's
thing.
not.
No, it's not.
It's not
No, it's
because
not.
you already know there's something else coming. Like, it's not the same thing.
You
You
wait
binge
till
it
you
so
can
that
get
you
it
don't
and,
have you
and
specifically
consume it.
binge. You wait and binge it specifically so you don't have to deal with it.
But I'm still watching it.
But you're doing it
No,
to
no, no.
avoid.
What I'm
You wanna-
saying is you don't watch anime, you binge anime. Like, you wait. Other people watch it and they wait. Like, it's out
Week
now. I want
after
to see it.
week.
I need to see it. I gotta
But
have it. Boom, I'm here.
It's
You
different.
binge it. It's not the same
I
thing
don't
because
see
We
how
can't
it's
even
different
have
because
we can't even
point
have
that he's
weekly
making-
conversations about certain animes because of the fact
right.
that you binge it. Like you want to wait until that arc is over. All right, cool. I can just go ahead and watch through the whole joint. Don't have to worry
Right.
about no cliffhanger.
But it's still categorized as it's still called binge watching. I'm still watching the show. I mean, I watch it every single week like everybody else, but I'm still watching it.
You don't watch it every single week. You watch it all
I
at
said-
one damn time.
He said
I
he's
don't-
not watching it.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
mean I watch
single
it
week.
every single week, but I still
Right.
watch it.
Right. But
It's
what
still-
you do isn't like what other people do. It's a different kind of other people allow themselves the setup that anime brings, which is exactly what Jokes is talking about. Like his specific comment was, you watch anime, so you shouldn't be upset at the way this ended, right? And your response to that was, this isn't anime. That's not what the point is. What the point is you don't watch anime, you binge anime. And the difference is you don't allow yourself to go through what everybody else puts themselves through because you're avoiding what exactly what he's talking about. So it is the cliffhanger that they just throw at you at the end of almost every anime that just leaves you hanging that you specifically avoid. You specifically will just be like, I'll avoid spoilers. I won't look at anything on the internet. I'll do all the ducking and diving and anything
Dancing.
I can to keep from dealing with the fact that I know it's going to end and I'm going to sit there wanting more. Like, you do everything you can to avoid the binge hole that leftover that hole. So you'll just binge it. So you'll wait again, like he said, through an entire arc. Like, I know this such arc is happening. Don't talk to me about the manga. Don't talk to me about whatever. I'm about to just wait. So his point is that he's wrong because it should bother you because you do watch anime, but you don't. You binge it, which would perfectly help me understand why you didn't like the end of this movie, because it feels like they're leaving you for a cliffhanger. So you didn't like it, which is literally what you avoid in the way that you watch anime. You don't just watch it, you binge it. And so now that you know there's another one coming, you feel better about it. But I bet you might have because it's a movie, but if you'd have known there was going to be a part 2, like if it was like the way Infinity War was supposed to be a part 1 and a part 2.
Part 2.
You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Like, if you I know that going in to like the last 2 Fast and the Furious films, they're going to be a part 1 and a part 2.
Yeah.
So you'll know you're just going to have to deal with the cliffhanger because you're not going to not watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to not watch it. But under this particular instance, they got you.
Yeah.
You know, like, they got you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel you because I didn't like the ending to this joint at all.
And
like
the
the end of this joint, to me, felt like it was just getting started.
Yes, 100%. 100%. The other thing that I was noticing when I was watching it was like, the trailers and everything sold this whole thing between Zendaya and Dude the whole time. And
I did
she
hear
is
about
not
that.
in this movie. Like, not until it's going off.
Yeah,
dog,
they said it's like
that's
7
what I
minutes.
want you to know.
Yeah.
7
this
minutes.
is a lie, bro.
It is a huge lie.
This is a lie, dog. They parading this youngin' out there in front of everybody at the premieres and some more. This is a lie, dog.
Straight
she don't
facts.
come in the movie until like the last 20 minutes, if that.
Yes,
of the
if
film.
that.
And I was like, what's happening? And then she was like, she literally said, this is only the beginning. Huh? And then the credits came on. I was like, what?
You gotta wait for part 2.
What's happening? Hey, dog. There's a lot of potential in Dune because of the book series.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers is going to help produce the second joint and help do some marketing, whatever. But like Lionsgate actually owns the rights to produce the films from the books and so forth. So they'll get some help there. They are specifically saying that Dune Part 2, which is what they're calling it, like on their joint.
Yeah,
that joint says Dune Part 2. That's a terrible name, but okay. The fact that they didn't call this part 1 means either they weren't sure that it was going to work out.
Oh yeah, wait until they got them numbers. See how people
Mhm.
started watching that show.
Wait for the reviews to come in, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
She is stuck in the mirror dimension, probably
somewhere in that mirror dimension. Yeah. So I look,
Two
you know,
Dudes, One Sequel.
As a whole, I will say this: what they did with Dune compared to what the original Dune is, they knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's beautiful.
I was disappointed with the ending. That's all I want to say about that. Check this out. Here's what we're gonna do real quick. I want to take a moment. We've been talking to a few folks, trying to start doing some sponsorship and showing off some things for some folks out here. Which some of y'all in the chat I'll be reaching out soon. But I want y'all to take a look at this quick little ad for Rhythm and Views.
I am your host, Terrius.
And I am D. Morris, the surfer.
Right. And together we are this
Rhythm and Views.
Together we form like Voltron.
Do that thing right there at the end, like
right.
Do that thing in there. If you are interested in jumping in there and checking that out, there's a link. Jokes, if you grab that for me,
let me grab that right quick,
so folks can click on that. Y'all make sure y'all check out Rhythm and Views. It's good, man. It's a good time. These are some guys that know their music. So make sure you check that out. Now, Halo. So it kicked you out.
Oh dog, that the chat joint, that joint got a login on it right now. I ain't never had that happen before.
I don't like you at all.
No. I'm not even gonna log back in because I feel like if I log in, that joint gonna mess something up. So
it's
we're
probably
gonna
kick
be.
You all the way out. We're
gonna let that be.
So this Halo, there you go. Did that work?
Nah, I'm still okay. I can turn it on and off, but it's a sign in. So
that's cool. Give me a second here. Hold on, buddy. Hold on, buddy.
You go ahead and grab it.
I got you, buddy, bro. I got you, guy. I got you, buddy.
Someone said, "Do not pass go. Do not collect."
Yeah, we can't have that.
Oh, you're playing into me. So it must be something.
We're gonna let it go. We're gonna let it be before we just lose everything.
I think it's fine. Nonetheless, yeah, there's a Halo gameplay overview. What did we think? We talked about it. We went live, so we don't have to go into deep on it. But what do we think?
Underwhelmed. Okay. Just looks like a world Halo. Like nothing necessarily specific.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Like it was honestly, I feel like it was for those people that complained when they first released the original trailer that showed things people talking about it didn't look good and all this. I feel like this was really for those people just to be like, hey, look, we went in and did this. Take this and shut up. But otherwise, it was good to see. It was good to at least see certain mechanics, certain things. Master Chief jumping around, shooting shit and doing whatever. But it was okay.
I dig it. I think a lot of people maybe just don't. For me, like they talk about the Banished, and that's what the fight is about. And I'm like, I don't really care about the Halo lore like that. But they did drop a trailer, so we gonna take a look at it. And
all right.
Hope. It makes you weak. Humanity clings to the belief that a savior will come, that a hero will rise, shrouded in armor to save you. It won't. Armor can be broken, bodies shattered. When you look back on these last days, you will realize that all you've built was a tomb. A place where hope dies.
Play it day one with Game Pass.
Yep.
Do it again, Jokes. Do it again. Okay. J. Robert Deans has an anime question for you. Saying, go ahead and ask your question, J. Robert Deans.
Yeah, sure.
We can fit.
That trailer was fire though.
It was, wasn't it?
That joint was fire. That got me more excited than the gameplay overview trailer.
No, I like what they did. My head with the beard, like he just seems like he got that pent up rage, just ready to kill Master Chief.
You see the armor getting put together and everything. The slow motion shots,
that's
and he's giving his monologue, like, yeah, okay, dude, yeah.
You monologuing, dude. Be careful.
See you.
You monologuing.
monologuing. He in a room by himself. You know what I mean? He's allowed to monologue a little bit. Yeah. Look, I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, all right. I guess I'm all in. Let's do this. The Switch expansion pass dropped yesterday. And people appear to be not happy. Answer that question.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'll put it on my list and grab it and check it out. Star Blazers $21.99. Let's look at that.
Yeah, Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch expansion pass. Did you get it?
No, I did not.
Are you gonna?
Probably not.
Sin?
I'm just not having aim to go back to play any of those
games. No, there's no chance in hell. No.
Now why?
Because I don't need to play old Genesis and 64 games for that expensive price tag when your internet is garbage. Like, no, that's way too much. That's way too much to ask. Way too much to ask.
I feel like
no.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like what you're getting. I feel like if you're amped about N64, if you're amped about Sega Genesis, I feel like the price tag is not too crazy. It's much easier than trying to go hook your Sega back up, hook N64 back up for some of these titles. If you got emulators, cool, but why not just want to play them on your Switch? Like, I
think the point, not that you can't make your Switch a perfectly good emulator.
True there too.
But I think the point for a lot of people who, one, aren't going to go through the hassle and the drama of jailbreaking their Switch or whatever to do that. I think for a lot of people, it is the portability. It is having those games. It's having Ocarina of Time, though it's been released on 3DS before, and that's here's the thing.
Jay Robert, it is not coming to one of my 13 phones.
It's probably already on one of your 13 phones.
I'm pretty sure I can get it. Any of those games.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I want to do a little bit of a breakdown because when I looked at this, I was like, they're tripping, dog. I'm not giving them. They're not getting $50 because for real, $20 for Switch Online was like, it's cool, but I'm not even really getting it for the online. I'm just getting it because you get the SNES games and the NES games with it, whatever. Because I'm not playing anything on the Switch online. Like, I don't really care about their online because I already know it's garbage. So that's not what it is. Realistically, though, the jump from $20 a month, $20 a year to $50 a year, that's like $4 a month. It's like $4.15 or something like that a month. Now, comparatively speaking, if you look at Xbox Live Gold, that's $60 for a year. And you get like 3 games for free every month. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that, right? So that's $5 a month. If you look at PlayStation Plus, that's $50, $60 a year. $60 a year. $5 a month. Their internet is so much better than Nintendo's internet infrastructure and online. However, I am of the mind that Nintendo has finally come to the realization that if they don't start getting money for their online, they won't ever be able to make it better. If you remember, Sony went an entire generation with free online, and that was their biggest selling point, was that their online was free. PlayStation Network was garbage on PS3. And it was still better than Switch, dog. But it was garbage. And realistically, after Sony went through what they went through with that entire hacking and that whole debacle and being down for like a month or more and having to give out games and all that kind of stuff or whatever, it's funny because people love to bring up the Red Ring of Death because it's a hardware thing. But they wait for you to bring out that Sony blackout where all your information got stolen, your credit card information,
everything.
Security breach. Not only did that happen, they didn't tell anybody about it. You know what I mean? Like they knew about it for like a week before they said anything. Like what Sony did is horrendous by comparison. And literally at that point, it was like, this is why you pay for Xbox Live. This is why you pay for it. So that money can be put into the infrastructure to try to protect the system and you. As a matter of fact, there was a rumor that there is a high possibility that Final Fantasy 14 is going to come to the Xbox, that they are in talks currently.
Heard that.
Still. And for a lot of people, it's like, why hasn't this happened already? What's the holdup? What's the problem? I can tell you exactly what the problem is. The problem is Microsoft. It's not Sony getting in the way. It's not Square getting in the way. The issue is that the way that Square has Final Fantasy 14 set up, when they update everything at the same time, and it is a direct update from their servers to every game. That's how it gets done. Microsoft, because Xbox Live was built on old like UWP based in like Windows 8, what happens is anybody that does an update to a game, it basically does a checksum on whatever they upload that goes to Xbox Live first and has to pass stringent testing on their end so that they can make sure somebody's not uploading a virus or something like that that can affect Microsoft or whatever before they then pass it through and allow it on the other side. That just doesn't work for Square. The only other time that Microsoft has allowed that to happen was when they put Final Fantasy 11 out on the 360. If you remember, it wasn't there originally. And it was all this back and forth. The reason why it wasn't there is for the exact same reason Final Fantasy 14 isn't there. And as of right now, with the most recent updates, the move to Windows 11 and those changes in infrastructure are now putting it in a position where Microsoft is in a place where they may allow them to just straight up do what they need to do in order to update. So, again, we're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about how your information is protected or isn't protected and so forth. If people don't start paying Nintendo,
it won't get better.
It won't get better.
It can't get better.
Right.
So the way I'm looking at it is, it's no bull. Like at $4 a month, okay. And again, there's a family plan that's $80 for like 8 people. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. So it's
Mhm.
$10 for like the whole year. You could split it between a bunch of people, which still to me is like, I don't know what y'all plan on doing with that money. You know what I mean? But if you have enough people sign up, bro, at $4 a month, $5 a month, or whatever it is, that's some real money that you can take and
Yeah,
do something
keep
with.
turning it
And put
around into
something
it. Yeah,
behind.
Exactly.
yeah.
So for all of the complaints and the issues and anger that I have in Nintendo for not getting on board and catching up with where everybody else is from an infrastructure standpoint, the reality of it is, it's the same thing I was saying back when PS3 was doing what it was doing. I'm like, y'all are going to have to pay for it
Yep.
eventually. They cannot keep giving it to you for free. It's
Because
a
it's not
terrible,
sustainable.
terrible business
Not
Yeah.
model.
sustainable.
Listen,
And they
it was
did and
enough for
told people they were
Nintendo doing
charging.
it.
People were hot.
Oh, I'll never
Right.
forget
Oh
that.
yeah, they were hot.
Everybody wanted to smear it in and everybody's face was like, hey, yeah, I ain't gotta pay for online. You gotta do all this. And the moment that day happened, oh, that was some funny.
Listen, it was, but here's the thing. They bypassed it because their introduction to that, they announced that at the same conference they announced this is how you share games on PlayStation 4.
And that's true
Like
too.
that joint versus what was happening with Xbox One was such a big deal that people were like, yeah, they act like they didn't even hear them say you have to pay for it now. They also act like they didn't hear them say that the price was going up from 50 to 60 when they did that on PlayStation Plus too. Like you have to pay in order to get the service you actually want, right? And complaints about how bad it is based on the price you get kind of doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. So do I think that they shaped this and set this up the right way? No, I think what Nintendo really needed to do, I think Nintendo needed to push up the price regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for them, the best way to disguise the need to do that was to say, here's SNES and here's Genesis. And we're going to supplement that by selling you controllers because we're going to take that money too. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And I think that's really what's happening here. Because I've seen people trying to compare what this is to like Game Pass. They're not the same thing.
It's not nowhere close.
No.
Nowhere close.
Because yes, you can get Xbox Live Gold for $5 a month. You can get Game Pass for $15 a month, which is essentially the same thing. It's just bundled together. But you can get Game Pass by itself for $10 a month. You know what I mean? And have access to all these games and download them and whatever. PlayStation Now is $10 a month. But that's only if you pay monthly. You can pay for PlayStation Now for a full year, $60. It's $5 a month for PlayStation Now. It's actually a pretty solid deal. The only real bonus is that you don't get, like, because you can download PS4 games, PS3 well, you can download PS4 games. You have PS3 games, PS2 games, old PS1 games you can play. Like, there's an incredible library that's there of incredibly great games for $5 a month. Drop that 61 time and be done with it for the year. It's actually really solid. The biggest differentiator between that and what Game Pass is that Game Pass is giving you brand new day one games, third party and first party.
And first party.
That's right. That's the biggest differentiator. If Sony manages to work that out somehow so that they can do that, if they do it, they'll probably have to push the price up, which will hurt them. But realistically, truthfully, looking at what Nintendo's doing, I don't think this is too expensive. I don't.
No, not when you break it down like that. Nah.
It's like, I don't want these games. Like, here's the problem. Right now, the complaints that people are having are that, like, Mario 64 that comes with this expansion pass is laggy. It's on a worse emulator than the one they used when they put out 3D All-Stars like a couple of months ago. It doesn't even have the right button control configuration. Like, they fixed the button control configuration in the one that just came out in 3D All-Stars, and this version doesn't have that. Only the Japanese version has the Rumble version of Mario 64. The UK and the US versions don't have it, which they didn't have when they originally released in the US. Mario 64 was re-released in Japan with Rumble because the Rumble pack came out after that. and they never added that into that version. But every other version, like, and real talk, the 3DS versions of Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Mario 64 are better than the version they put on this, because this is the original N64 version, and they've already redone those games. You see what I'm saying?
Plenty
So
of times. Yeah,
they're giving you like a half-ass version of the, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
why?
The actual time and effort that they should have put into it isn't there. That's an issue that I have. But technically, price-wise, $50 for a year
Isn't
to be able to play online and have access to these games. And then I guess if you care about Animal Crossing, which I don't, but the Animal Crossing DLC, I think, is $20 or $30 by itself anyway.
So yeah, then it makes sense for someone like that.
Yeah.
Right? And if you add that into a family plan, and everybody on the family plan now has, like I saw somebody tweet the other day that they were like, it's a mother and father, he's got 3 kids, and all 5 of them play Animal Crossing. He was like, I'm not paying individually for each one of these people to get the expansion for Animal Crossing. So $80 for my entire family and everybody has access to it is a no-brainer. And I was like,
no, that's great. And that is
that's
like it does work for some people. So it's one of those things where, like, you know, as a salesperson, you know, you're taught not to shop with your own wallet. You know what I mean? They're like, don't shop with your wallet. You don't know how much money that person has or where they came from or whatever. It's the same kind of thing. Like, you got to kind of put yourself in the mindset of, like, from a business standpoint, if you're Nintendo, how do you take care of the issues that you have with your online? You have to charge more money. What do you do to package it? And how will it be the best for the most people? And every now and again, I find myself in that vocal minority that immediately when I saw it, I was like, I'm not even joking, dog. Out loud by myself in my basement, the price came up and I was like, you tripping, dog. Like, literally got vocally loud about it.
I think a lot of us had that reaction when we saw it. But
listen, Rocky, I hear you. However, as a company that was founded that long ago that is a toy maker, that is exactly why they have bad internet servers. And it's because they're not a company that, they are a company that makes software, but they're software developers. They don't do infrastructure though, right? So they've become hardware / software developers that don't do infrastructure, where Microsoft does infrastructure and Amazon does infrastructure. Sony also doesn't do infrastructure. Sony has bad internet. They're only as good as it is because they ended up partnering with Amazon, and they runs on Amazon web servers, which, again, even Netflix runs on that. Like literally 50% of the web runs on Amazon web servers. So, you know, there's like Walmart has incredible cloud servers. Like, they got server farms like you wouldn't believe, and most people don't even realize it. So between Amazon, Google, and Walmart, as far as like cloud servers and that infrastructure is concerned, like, Nintendo continues to put out games that only work on the cloud here on the Switch. You don't have the infrastructure to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, they have to do something. And you're right, Rocky. Like, honestly, you don't need it. And I can tell you, I don't need it. Like, all the N64 games I want to play, I have access to already.
Right. The enthusiasts, the people that really like those games, and they can go out there, spend the money, start to get the infrastructure rolling.
I'm playing it on Switch. I'm playing.
Right. Depending how it evolves in the future, if they start to evolve it and start, you know, building it out like an Xbox Live or like the PlayStation Network, you know what I'm saying? Then I could probably come on board, you know, as long as they start flipping the money back into themselves and building up, like you said, the infrastructure. Yeah. But this first iteration of rollout is not for me.
Do you have any idea? I want you to think for a second how often these companies put out classic collections of games. Think about how many different Genesis collections there are, how many different Atari collections there are, how many different. We all know you can just play them joints online for free if you really want to. Like, we know there's ways to do it. There are people who have no idea. Like, we're in that group of people who like know and understand all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We saw people at Baltimore Comic Con selling the little
junk,
a Raspberry Pi in a little box with a you know what I'm saying, with a couple of card slots on it. They were like, you can play all these games, and I was like, ooh, that's illegal. But like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that there are ways to do it if you really want to do it, but for most people, nah, they're just like,
yo, that's
I'm
dope.
30 and I haven't played these games since I was, you know what I'm saying, since I was 6. You know what I mean, or whatever. Like, I gave my N64 away. I haven't had a chance to play it or a way to play it or whatever. And like, boom, here it is. And I can take it with me and I hook it up, put it on my TV. Like, it's the simplification of it for most people that makes it worth it. You know what I mean? To pay $50 for the year and just have games and they're just gonna add more stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I get that.
Speaking of things we're gonna have to figure out how to break this money up for, let's watch this.
Hello?
I got a little job for you, pal.
They mess with me, they mess with the biggest boy in town.
I'm glad to see things back the way they used to be.
Well, that ought to put the coyote in the chicken coop, huh?
Oh, yeah! And if he's ratting us out, kill him.
It's easy. Haven't you ever seen a movie?
You say it like it's a bad thing.
Shut up, Carl!
Okay, first of all, who's ready?
That joint is a solid polish that they put on that.
November 11th.
Yeah. Or December 7th. So digital drops November 11th. Physical drops December 7th. Game Pass on November 11th gets instant access to San Andreas. When the physical drops on December 7th, PlayStation Now gets access to GTA 3. Nobody gets Vice City.
They make you buy Vice City.
They haven't said that they're selling them individually.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm perplexed.
It is
because I don't know what to do. Because I feel like I want all 3 of these.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely do.
I need a way to be able to buy just 2.
Yep.
Because they're giving me San Andreas.
Mm-hmm.
I need answers.
So I think like we had a brief little conversation about this. Whenever you throw Game Pass in the mix, it's kind of like okay, and we said like they've cycled through like Grand Theft and Red Dead inside of Game Pass. Mm-hmm. So at least on that side, I feel like maybe the plan is to cycle each one of these through at some life point or like some life cycle in time for it. And so you can get all of them and see, and that's the part that makes me hate buying games sometimes, especially those ones you look at and you're like, man, you gonna go on Game Pass. Like I just, and that's why I'm starting to feel like is they're gonna end up doing that cycle thing because it's just weird to me that you just pick San Andreas. Like, oh yeah, just throw San Andreas in there. But nah, you gotta pay full price and get the other two in the whole set, even though you've already paid for the one. So either they're looking at doing it that way, or they're just trying to be like, once the game comes out and it's out for a little bit, then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, you guys can go and buy these individually. But I feel like they won't do it until like after the physical release.
My thought on this is that they have no intention of selling these games individually. And I say that because they're specifically, this joint is set as the GTA Grand Theft Auto, the definitive trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
They're not saying this one, and this one. They're calling it the definitive trilogy, meaning for all intents and purposes, we're talking one price, which has been set at $60 for all 3. They haven't said you're going to be able to buy the other ones individually, and they took everything else off all stores. You can't buy any of them anymore at all. I already own them, so like I can play them through backwards compatibility or whatever on Xbox. If I really want to, I can just go back and play them. But I want that fresh. I keep it a buck. You know what I mean? I want the fresh because them joints are ugly. They old and they're ugly, bro.
Yes, especially 3. Oof.
Couple more things.
Maybe it's a way that maybe it's a thing behind the scenes that Rockstar did to kind of appease both sides. Like, look, we'll give one of y'all Game Pass. Let's throw San Andreas in there. We'll give PlayStation, Grand Theft Auto 3, and nobody gets Vice City. Or maybe it's some deal like that. Because they always do their stuff with Sony a lot of the times. But Game Pass has been, I know, working very, very well for them. It's like, no, we're not just going to leave that, for nothing. So
yeah, I mean, all their GTA 5 stuff right now, their marketing deal is with Sony. Right? Like everybody playing on PlayStation gets $1 million a month or whatever.
Are they gonna put Vice City on the Switch?
No.
maybe that'll be in between
Switch Online. If they do, what day is the Game Awards?
December.
It's like the 8th, isn't it? And it like the day when
that's not like, that's
it's right in there when one of these joints comes out, right? When the physical comes out.
Yeah.
Because they could wait and do it when the physical comes out or something like that. So it could
December 9th.
Right. So it's the day after like Halo drops. It's the day it's the day after the physical drops or whatever. So like they could do it. The physical comes out. I didn't even see. I gotta look at it again. I don't even recall. I'm almost positive they said they were putting these joints on the Switch. At least the physical versions on the Switch.
Okay.
I think they are.
I don't see why not. Get that money.
And that's what Rockstar does the best, bro.
What?
All right, so a couple more things. One, I'm going to talk about the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy, this new game, Zayna said they are.
They are, okay.
Bill Murray has been cast in Man 3. That's probably perfect.
Hey, that could be.
Guardians of the Galaxy, the game, is reviewing really well. I mean, solid 8s.
Yeah.
Got an 81 on Metacritic right now. I wrote this joint off. Like, I don't really want to. And I'm going to tell you what. I was this close to pulling the trigger today. This close.
And why didn't you?
Because I think it's going to be on sale in like 3 weeks.
You put a block.
No bull. Like, listen.
Honestly, it happened with Avengers. So
I'm gonna tell you what I feel like. I think that this game is reviewing really well, and I still don't think anybody's gonna buy it. I think this joint is unfortunately going to sell below expectations, and within a month and a half, Black Friday, something, they're gonna do a Square Enix sale
on the store.
Yep.
And this joint's going in there, or it's gonna end up in Game Pass sometime in the next 6 months. I wouldn't necessarily be mad if I bought it at a discount and then it ended up in Game Pass.
Versus paying that full price for it, and then it ends up in Game Pass.
I completely feel them. I was looking in the store today, like, let me see what's coming out games I want. I want this. I want Far Cry 6.
I'd be looking at these games
I still got games to finish, and we're right around the corner from them sales. I can hold off for a minute.
Dude, but half the games now I haven't seen it. They show up in Game Pass, just like, well, damn. Like, and I don't want to wait, but it's like, damn.
Is it due to the Avengers game being what it is? First of all, J. Robert Deans, Bill Murray is a national treasure. Second, Heather.
True.
Yeah. Is what due to the Avengers game being what it is that I think it's going to end up on sale? Because partially, here's the thing. What I'm hearing from a lot of people is that this game is what people actually wanted from the Avengers game that it wasn't. There is something to be said for them putting together a single player story-driven, relatively linear game. Straight up, Zayna, for Osmosis Jones alone. Which, no, for Ghostbusters, but I'll take Osmosis Jones. And yeah, I mean, I do feel like, don't get me wrong, I played Avengers a lot. I would say that I got my money's worth out of Avengers. I don't like what they're doing with it now, where they have artificially decreased the amount of XP you get. And because they said that people are breezing through it too fast, and that doesn't allow them to actually experience the game. And then doing what they said they would never do when they dropped the Black Panther DLC, which was, they specifically stated that all DLC for this game would always be cosmetic only, and that's how they would make their money. And now they have XP boosters that you can buy. They dropped those in when they did them in Black Panther. And if you are artificially, if you go in and you tell people, we are decreasing the amount of XP that you can get while you play, so it takes you longer to play through the game, and then you turn around and you
and
sell
XP
people
boosters.
XP boosters so that they can get the XP back faster.
It's a money grab. Yeah, it's a
all
money
you
grab.
really done is put it back to where it was artificially, and that
is the problem.
It's bullshit. That's what that is. Now, this is a game that doesn't have, I mean, there are cosmetic outfits and stuff like that. You can buy like the different, but most of the outfits you can unlock just through gameplay.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, what I feel like it should be. And it's not like an artificially, like, because the other thing that they did by making it more like with Avengers, by them decreasing the amount of XP you get, they also decrease, like, there's a, for each character, there's a set of runs you do that as you build up your character, you open up more outfits and stuff like that. By making it take longer for you to do that,
it's going to take you
it
much longer to do
incentivizes
those.
people to actually go into the store and even
buy
buy
the boosters,
cosmetic stuff, because it takes longer
cosmetics
for you to do it, because you can unlock the cosmetics, not all of them, but a lot of cosmetics.
The ones that are on their challenge cards, you can't unlock. You can't go to the store and just buy those.
Buy.
Yeah, you have to get it through buying the card, paying the 20 or whatever bucks for the card, and then leveling up through it to get it.
But realistically, the ones that are in there are not as nice as the ones you can buy.
For the most part, yes.
So it just, you know, from what nation? Dude almost never gets called back because of his condescending misogyny. Listen, this has nothing to do with Bill Murray being a jerk. It has everything to do with his appearances being hilarious across the board. We're just gonna, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say, what about Bob? And we're gonna leave it at that.
That's what I was thinking of. Thank you.
I knew.
Like I was thinking when y'all were naming names. I was like, "What's the Bob one?" I said, "Is it Silent Bob?" I said, "No, it ain't that one." You know what? I'm gonna shut up because I can't remember what this is. That was not gonna say anything, but I knew it was a Bob movie. Thank you.
Are there any Marvel games not made via Lego any good these days? All I ever hear about are the bad things. Spider-Man is incredible. Yeah. Miles Morales is incredible. Apparently, I actually heard somebody say today that the story in Guardians of the Galaxy is on par with the story in Spider-Man. And I was like, you lying. But that's what they said. And I almost pulled the trigger.
That's what made you almost pull the trigger. I'm gonna get it. I'm just waiting.
I'm waiting for Black Friday. We too
close.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for Black Friday sales. Yeah, but I'm gonna grab it. I'm just gonna hold
one
on.
of those games that's gonna be on Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
2 points for the first comment, Doctor Who. -2 points for the second comment. Doctor Who. What about Bob?
Goose egg.
What is? I don't know what. Stripes is also a clean classic, and I won't allow his run on Saturday Night Live to be forgotten. So, all right, look, we don't have to talk about this in depth, but apparently they're making a Wu-Tang RPG.
I saw that.
Apparently.
Interesting. Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
I heard about this last week. That first, what I heard was that Wu-Tang, they were making a Wu-Tang RPG, and that it was an action RPG, and that Wu-Tang was doing the music for it. But now it would appear that there's more to it than that, and that there might be Wu-Tang members in it. We'll see what happens. That's just a thing. Keep it in the back of your head.
I'm intrigued to know more.
Yes, the Spider-Man and the Miles games are separate. Technically, Miles is really just DLC. They sold it as a separate game. It's a $40 game instead of a $60 game. But it is actually better than Spider-Man. I will stamp that. They fixed a lot of the things. All right. They fixed a lot of things that were issues with the main Spider-Man game, and I'm imagining that going into this third one, they'll do better. What Marvel is doing as far as their games are concerned is Marvel used to have their own video game publishing arm. They got rid of that and decided not to do that, and to specifically get licenses out to teams that had a pedigree and that they felt like could actually do really great things with them. So, the Avengers game is a Square Enix game, and so is Guardians. And Guardians basically uses the combat system from Final Fantasy VII Remake. And so, while a lot of people are not happy with having to be Star-Lord for that entire game, that seems to be probably the biggest issue. People are saying that it works.
With it.
Yeah, but people are saying that it works. So, I think most people would look at something like that and want the option to choose between them or be able to switch between characters or whatever. But,
maybe a sequel if they decide to do one or something like that, they'll explore that option.
Right.
And we also got the what's the new game strategy RPG that should be coming out next year or so? That they announced a little while back. Marvel game. It's like a strategy RPG.
Oh, the Suns,
Midnight
Suns?
Yes.
Midnight Suns?
That looks like it's gonna be pretty good.
It does. I mean, and again, that's made by the people who make XCOM, so it's a strategy game. So it'll be different from what you see, but again, Marvel does really well with their like strategy / RPG like mobile games. So they're doing super well with it. So, they have, I think it's called Marvel Strike Force, and there's something else.
Yep, that's it, Strike Force.
So there's a couple of those. All right, one more thing we need to do, and then we can get out of here.
What that is?
I'm gonna show you.
Ruth, phone call. Hello? Hello?
You're gonna pay for what you did.
I was in prison. I just got out. I was there for 20 years.
For what? It was an accident.
Does your release alter the terms of your no contact order?
You don't have to give me a speech. I'm looking for Katie. She's my little sister. I raised her. Okay, next time, don't drag me through 3 bus transfers to tell me something you already know.
John, there's a woman in the front yard.
Can I help you with something?
You're a lawyer?
What would Catherine gain by meeting her now?
I wonder all the time what she looks like, what she became.
Your life starts here now, not 20 years ago.
She did her time.
She killed somebody in cold blood. If that were any of your black sons who had been in this system, they would be dead. She walks around like it never happened. Now, you tell me if that's fair.
You gotta be a convict wherever I go?
No, you're a cop killer everywhere you go.
Hey, Ruth, just stop.
I'm good! Don't treat me like I don't exist! Tell her about me!
Don't even pretend this is about her!
Hey, bro.
That joint looks solid.
That joint looks super solid.
That joint looks solid. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Sana said she want that old Ultimate Avengers to make a comeback. And them joints clean.
Nah, we need them X-Men Legends.
Woo. I mean, we can do it. It's on the box. We'll see if we can't make something happen for Extra Life. But you know how that joint like to quit on us. I do want to play some Warriors, but we had to see how that works out, man. I don't know. Yeah, Warriors. That joint looks so clean, bro.
It does. It looks really good.
That is the strength of like what Netflix is doing, and that's theaters and Netflix.
Yep.
In November, which is one of those things where, again, I didn't realize that The Harder They Fall was going to theaters first and then coming to Netflix.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Theaters now.
I thought it was just on Netflix.
Me too. I was looking for it because I saw that it was out. It's not on Netflix until like November 3rd or something like that, I think. But it's in theaters now.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, I like Davis yelling at her that she's not a victim too. I like anytime. Listen, Viola Davis get the yelling. I don't care if she's Amanda Waller or not.
No, you feel it.
I feel it.
You feel it. You feel like you getting yelled at.
Yes. Oh yeah. Straight up. Like I would not have wanted Viola Davis to be one of my teachers, dog.
Woo.
Would not. Would not. I would have never gotten in trouble in that joint. Ooh, but whenever somebody did, I would have been no good.
Like, ooh.
He done made Miss Davis mad. Y'all see what Miss Davis did today? Straight up. Yes, D'Onofrio does look a lot like David Harbour. He's the original David Harbour. And officially our Kingpin. We will let him be our Kingpin.
Good with that.
Okay. Welcome back, Jokes. Thanks for coming back. Just in time to wrap the show. Sir, you have a job to do, if you would, please.
No, I can't do the job.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I can't do the job. Sin, you can do the job, I think.
Nah, I bet he can't.
I bet I can't either.
I bet he can't. I bet he can't do the job. Listen, y'all know the deal. We are Loading Snacks. Follow us across social media, across everything. We can't put the link up right now. We're having technical difficulties. However, you know that if you search at Loading Snacks or across pretty much everything, you will find us. That includes on Patreon. Look later this week for those who are involved in the Loading Snacks Movie Club for us to put a poll out to get some suggestions for genres for movies for next month. And then we will take from genres and we will do some polling to figure out what movies, and then we will narrow it down from there. So look for that. What I would like to do before I have Sin do his job is I would like to wish everyone a very safe and happy Halloween this weekend. Please be careful if you go out. Check your candy. Make sure that your wrappers are sealed and there's no needles in them. Like you're supposed to. Do we have any thoughts on the Pixel 6? I'm curious because it's almost big enough for my hands. I'll be honest with you. I haven't really looked into it. I thought about looking at all. I'm always intrigued by the Pixel phones. I never jump on them because there's every time I look at reviews of them, there's always like one thing that I'm like, it just needs this one thing. There's always one thing I'm like, ooh, that would be really dope. And then there's something I'll do a little more research and I'll see what I can find out for you. But I have never owned a Pixel phone.
Yeah.
So
I will say I think it was GameSpot that reviewed it, and it's rare that I see GameSpot throw out 10s for anything that they rate, and they threw a 10 on that thing.
No, I realized they were up to 6.
You making that up?
No, dead serious. Oh, that.
Huh.
I'm gonna go pull that on. And I will send it.
One job, no question. Hey, did you know The Thin Man is a Christmas film? I didn't.
That's cute.
I didn't. But since we're going into November and not December,
he just fishing right now, you know.
The cameras are great, Heather says. I believe it. I always hear that about them.
Oh, no headphone jack or micro SD slot? No, I'm good.
Yeah, but how much memory does it have? And do you need that memory? That's one. And two, Like my phone currently doesn't have a headphone jack. I would prefer if it did, but it doesn't. But Bluetooth or using the USB-C has worked. I've been rocking with it for like a year or whatever. And yes, there are moments when I'm like, man, I really wish this had a jack, but you can get an adapter. You know what I mean? If you got USB-C, you can get an adapter if you really want something like that. Most people and most things are going Bluetooth now, and so the need for a headphone jack is less necessary for most people. But I did go through a phase where I only had an input, an auxiliary input in my car. Now I have Bluetooth and I have USB in the car, so I can do either one. Take it easy, Rock. My man said I'm team wireless headphone gang, so I never care about the jack. Again, that's just a thing that a lot of people are it's just getting to the point now where people don't want the wires and not used to it. So I don't think not having a headphone jack is a major issue for most people any longer. You don't do Bluetooth. I've had enough dental wire. Okay. I mean, and that's cool. I mean, again, Bluetooth is going to get harder and harder and harder to avoid. It is also going to get more and more difficult to find things that have a headphone jack because
it was IGN that gave it a 10. So now I will. Nope, never mind.
You was wrong. IGN don't give out a lot of 10s.
They don't, but
especially not the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, the micro SD card slot, I do a lot of images and stuff now with my phone that I didn't used to do. And I ran out of space at the last convention we were at, and I had to get a micro SD. I had to get an SD card for it and put one in there. I have micro SD cards and just I don't even know where they are. They're here somewhere, but I never use them. So I didn't think about it. And I got one like dirt cheap at like, where was that? CVS?
Yeah,
CVS across the street or whatever in DC.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, like if you take a lot of pictures with your phone or you're going to use it for a lot of editing or video or stuff like that, then that's fine. I also upload a lot of stuff to the cloud. So I don't have to keep a lot of it on my phone, but I do because it just is faster access. But most of the time, most of what I want, need, or have to get, I can access directly through cloud. I use OneDrive or something along those lines. I have multiple cloud storages in multiple places, and it's just a matter of keeping track of what I put where.
Yeah.
But I digress. If those two things are the things that are keeping you from wanting it, as far as the SD card slot is concerned, again, have you run out of space on your current phone? And if so, why? And does this have more space on it in terms of the memory than what your current phone has? And two, can you use the micro? I mean, you can get a set of headphones that plug in through USB-C.
USB-C.
So the Bluetooth thing is not really an issue if you just don't want to use it. That's what I would say. All right, Sin, you got a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dorch, and Tyrone Carson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
That is a fact. We absolutely do. We're going to wrap this up. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us till so late in the evening. We are out. Toodles and lose.